This is the Drop the Clutch podcast, a fan-run podcast full of guests, controversy, and opinions about the sport we love that sometimes drives us insane.
So 23. I'm Nick. We've got Ruth and Eve as co-hosts, and we've got our guest, Mr. Simon Lambert, back for a second bite.
Good evening. Evening all.
So, as you've been on before, we'll skip the formalities, but how was your first meeting for Kings Lynn last night?
Well, I didn't do any pirouettes at Wolves, which I'm normally pretty good at, so that was a positive. But no, obviously, we got absolutely spanked, well and truly spanked, but a lot of criticism on the social media as ever, but at the end of the day, we were poor and Wolves were very good, and that's what people forget. Obviously, Bomber, I think, got 1, and obviously Clint used to be a track specialist. He got 4. I was joint third top scorer with 3 and 1. So, but I felt I rode quite well. I was in the mix all night, which was a big positive because it is a daunting place to go. But Mozza didn't really do me many favours in Heat 9. Run me a bit hot in 3 when we was on a 5-1. But at the end of the day, I walked away and I could hold my head high and say I gave it my all, and that's what I always aim to do.
Was it Heat 9 where you were out in the lead?
Yeah, and finished last. Yeah, that one.
They showed that on Eurosport last night during the Bellevue meeting.
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed really. I think that would have been 30 straight races without a last place in all competitions. But that's what I was more miffed about, I think, than anything. But mate, it's life. It's just good to be back in the top league, and obviously going to be there on the regular basis now to the end of the season. So that's good, and something to look forward to for next year a bit as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic that you got the team spot there. Proper chuff for you, truth be told.
Thank you.
Because I've seen you guesting a few times at Bellevue and other tracks, and you've always held your own. So it's good that somebody's actually noticed and put you forward for a team.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I'm capable of it, and I am in the form of my life at the minute, and it's just given a chance. But I think also a bit of another sort of good thing is that there isn't any pressure on me. Being realistic, they're not going to win the league, are they? Like Peterborough, so there's no pressure. It's just go there, try and earn some money, but just as long as I keep performing to the best I can, and I know I'm capable of, and keep putting a show on for the fans best we can. That's all we can ask. It's not been a good year for Kings Lynn. There's no two ways about it, but at the end of the day, Busters, whatever's gone on has gone on. I don't really know the ins and outs. Don't really want to know the ins and outs. None of my business. But I've been given an opportunity. I've got to grasp it with both hands. Busters supposedly saved the club and took on the back of the helm as such. So, we want clubs in Britain to survive, and if that means people having to take pay cuts, and so be it. Obviously, riders have quit. Riders have gone other teams. It is what it is, but everybody's got a worth. I got what I wanted. I was happy with what I got. And that's it. I'm part of the team. I got a suit, so I feel part of the team. And like I say, we've had one chance now, but we've got another 11 opportunities to go and, not be a star literally, but kind of, but just go out and have fun and enjoy it. So.
Oh, that's it. And you get to ride new tracks as such as well.
Yeah, Wolverhampton and Ipswich, being honest, are probably me worst ones. I like Sheffield. I love Bellevue. I don't dislike Leicester. Peterborough, obviously, I like. I've had Wolves out of the way now. I've got to go to Ipswich once. But I think another positive, everything I do nowadays, I try and take positives from. I've got to go to every track. I didn't disgrace myself last night. I put a show on. I was in the mix all night. Mm-hmm. If I can score points at all the other tracks, as long as I'm on the pace and I'm thereabouts, then nobody can, it's small steps or big steps from previous encounters.
Yeah. And like you said, you're an official team rider now, so it's not even just guesting.
No, when you do a guest meeting, obviously you want to go, you just want to earn some money, and like for the team that you're riding for that night as well. But I mean, I'm in the team at Lynn, and I'm a team man, and I just, like I say, we've got to start winning at home and for the fans more than anything. Obviously a lot of stuff out there today, and about Laguta and whatnot, but like I say, here's what it is. He's on a 7-day ban. We don't have a meeting for 9 days, so happy days. So yeah, it's all good.
It's one of those enforced bans that's totally pointless, isn't it? Because it doesn't affect him in any way, basically.
Well, it doesn't, but if I knew the truth, I'd tell you. But I don't honestly know what's going on. I didn't even get told why he wasn't there last night. Just Bomber was guesting, and that was it. So
apparently he got food poisoning after the Roslav meeting.
Oh well, that's fair enough. Perhaps with a dodgy kebab or something.
Possibly, yeah, and wasn't able to travel back to Britain and ride for Lynn last night.
No, well, you don't want to do too much if you got a dodgy tummy, do you?
Well, no, I can speak firsthand on that. I had that norovirus last week.
Yeah, no dear, not good.
Yeah, the whole house went man down.
Lovely. Ooh, nice. On a more positive note, your season's going pretty well with Scunthorpe.
Yeah, yeah, it is, to be honest. I set myself one goal for the year, and that was to make the British final to come to Bellevue, because I like riding at Bellevue, and to make the British final on merit. I've been in 2, and I'm not saying they're not on merit, but what I mean is like made the top 16 averages. I've always been like first or second reserve, and unfortunately, or fortunately for me, things have happened to others, and it's given me a shot, whether it's been the night before or 4 or 5 days before. That was one thing I really wanted to aim for this year, and just try and improve away from home a little bit. And I've had 2 bad meetings away from home, but luckily they were in one was the BSN, one was in the semi-final of the BSN. But if you look at my league performances away from home, 7 at Plymouth. I didn't score there last year. I got 7 at Poole this year. I think I got 3 or 4 there last year. 8 at Edinburgh this year, a race win, and I beat Dougie twice, which is an achievement in itself. 9 from 4 at Berwick, so that's a lot of positives. But obviously my form at home's been pretty good. I think I've got 2 points in my last 3 meetings. But it's like I always say, a lot of people rave about this, they rave about it, but listen, we're only human, Look at Bewley. I think everybody thought Bewley wouldn't get beat round Bellevue this year, and he's probably dropped more points this year than he has in the last 5 years. People get better, things change, equipment changes, conditions change, fatigue, etc. I feel fitter this year than I ever have done. I've cut the fags down. I haven't stopped the fags, but I've cut the fags down. I've got a manual job. I don't go to the gym. I've lost about 1.5 stone in weight. And I feel slim and trim, really. And I'm just, the thing is, on a race day, I used to get quite nervous, but now I'm pretty chilled. I'm pretty relaxed. And all I want to do is get on my bike and enjoy it. As long as I enjoy it, that's half the battle. I'm just enjoying riding my bike this year. I'm having some great fun. And luckily for me, I'm winning some races. But now I've managed to put a few starts together. I felt at the start of the season for the first month, I was thereabouts. It was just small steps. But like I say, I've just been running a little bit of a different engine, nothing drastic, and it's certainly worked. But like I say, I've put some starts together, and I know I've got the ability, and now I've got the ability and the starts. It's just all clicking and it's working. So like I say, we just take every meeting as it comes, and we just go out there, give 110% in every race, and something that a lot of people recognise and notice with me. I'm not one of these that's at the back and just gives up and rolls around. Somebody can fall off and anything, you know. You race from the minute the takes go up to the minute the checker flag comes down and you pass it. So, yeah.
That's it, innit? How many times have you seen punches or chains drop in or people crashing?
I passed Richie Worrell, didn't I, by 100th of a second the other week on the line at Bellevue.
Yeah.
That's money in my pocket. I've took out his pocket.
But you see that all the time, don't you? Coming out of Bend 4 and that dash to the finish line and half a knobble on a tyre ahead or whatever.
Exactly, that can be the difference between 3 points or 1 point, or 1 point and no points. And you're just depriving yourself of money. And obviously, as much as we all enjoy riding the bikes, it's a well-paid hobby. When it's good, it's good.
Yeah. You can imagine it. The more wins you get, the better the pay packet at the end of the meeting.
That's it. It's, I think for 95% of us out there, it's performance related, and that's why it's so ruthless, and that's why speedways are good. A few people criticise Doyley because of the way he rides, but mate, he's paid per point at Ipswich. I tell you, you leave him $500,000, he'll take 50 mil. He's ruthless. He's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's the attitude you have to have,
Well, you've only got to look at Doyley and the GPs as well. He, like you say, he's literally ruthless. He will put that bike where it can't go.
Yeah, the bloke can gate, right? But he's hard, he's fast, he's not afraid. And again, he doesn't like losing. And what an attitude to have. Like I say, you leave him a little hole and he'll try to make that big hole. But he would never knock anyone off on purpose. He's not that sort of guy. But, at the same time, he just wants to win races, enjoy riding his bike. And to be fair to him, he's pretty bloody good at it.
Yeah. We can't deny that, can we?
No.
Reminds me a bit of the Jason Doyle that won the world title in 2017, to be fair, at the moment.
Pardon?
He reminds me of the Jason Doyle that won the world title in 2017.
Yeah.
At the minute, the way he's riding.
Yeah. He's, he never says no to rides. He always wants to ride. He rides Britain. He's doing Sweden, Poland, GPs, He's a busy bloke and fair play. And so Speedway now really is like March. Well, it's not much of it. It's like April to like end of September, early October, whereas it used to be March to October. But yeah, no, he likes to be busy, and like I say, we all like to be busy. And I think these extra meetings I'm going to get with Lynn, like I say, I got 12. It's certainly filled my calendar up a bit, which is good.
Yeah.
I was
Monday.
For them.
It's Monday and Thursdays now extra for you riding.
Well, I was literally riding on a Friday, wash everything on a Saturday. I always try and keep on top of my stuff. I'm not one just to leave it and wait. So I was washed on a Saturday morning, Saturday dinner. I put it away, and I wasn't touching it till a Friday. That's why I took the job on with Hans Anderson this year, just washing his bikes, just to try and keep my mind more focused on my own racing as well, and keep involved with the bikes, because my bikes, when they never get neglected, but you ride on a Friday, chuck it in the corner on a Saturday night till the following Friday morning, and dust it down again, and off you go. It's no good. It's no good. So now it's sort of Monday, Thursday, Friday. I'm just pretty pleased. I've done all the long trips for Scunny. I've done all them now. I'm hoping I have Paul again in the cup final, if providing we can beat Redcar. Obviously, that's the next sort of goal, to turn them over 2 legs. But yeah, other than that, we've done Berwick, Plymouth, Edinburgh, Glasgow. So it's pretty good.
Fair enough. So you've just got the mid-range trips with Lynn now as such.
Well, everywhere in the top league for me is no more than 3 hours. Probably the furthest one's Bellevue, 3 and a bit. That's it. Everywhere else, Peterborough's 45, Kingston's 45 minutes, Leicester's hour and a half, Sheffield's 2, Wolves is 2.5, Ipswich is 2.5, whereas Edinburgh and Glasgow and Plymouth are like 7 hours for me.
Yeah.
Berwick's 5 hours, and that's only obviously one way. It's a killer.
So what would you do on a night where you go up to Glasgow, Berwick, or Edinburgh? Do you drive up, do the meeting, and then stay overnight, or do you turn around and straight back home?
Well, we were at Glasgow last Friday. I literally took my little boy to school at Upper State. Was meant to have the morning off work. Got roped into doing an hour. Went and did 3 drops. Got home at 9:45. Loaded my van. Connor Mountain come. We doubled up, and then we drove to Glasgow. Left here at 10 o'clock, 10:15. Got home at 3:30. Went to bed for 4 and was up for work at 7:45.
Beast mode engaged.
That's it. A couple of cans of Red Bull and a few fags, and we were good to go again. So finished work at 12, and then washed my bike, washed Hans's bike, and then literally just had Sunday off, and then just finished the bikes off yesterday. So
yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, no, mate. You know, I it's one of them. It's you either sit down and do nothing all day and fall asleep. You can't sleep at night, or just keep busy. And I'm a pretty busy guy. You know, I work 6 days a week as well, and kids and whatnot. We're always on the go. And I'm not one of these that go on holiday for a week and sit there and do nothing. I'd be bored out of my head after about 3 hours. I'd want to come home. So
yeah, I feel you on that. Ruth can tell you. Over the last few weekends, I've been working nearly 40 hours between Friday and Monday.
Oh, nice. It's takes its toll, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I forgot all about this tonight. So he texted me and was like, "We're ready for you." I was like, "What's tonight?" I was like, "It's Tuesday." I was looking for the Plymouth result, but I didn't realise Plymouth didn't even have a match. I thought, "Man, I'm so tired." Like, and I was like, "Oh God, yeah, I promised I'd do that." So yeah, then obviously the technicalities with blooming technology, but it's all good. It's all good.
One that's had major dramas. We had James Pearson on a couple of weeks ago, and we ended up having to scrap one night and redo it another night because he just couldn't get anything to load or work.
Oh, mate, yeah, I'm not that clued up with technology, but we're here now. We're here, so it's all good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so what are your plans Speedway-wise then this season? You said about the British final.
Yeah.
And is it just, like you said last time, trying to improve your average home and away? And
there's no real plans as such, you know. I just take every race, every meeting as it is. Just the only thing that's different this year is just mentality, you know. I don't know why. Maybe a few off-track issues sort of made me realise life a little bit more, and you know, you never stop growing up, and you never ever stop learning in life, no matter what you're doing and who you are. But yeah, just obviously, I'm hopeful I make the British final. I think I should just scrape in, which you know would be good. If I don't, I don't. But if I do, it's like, you know, mission complete. Obviously, Kings Lynn wise, we've just got to have fun, enjoy it, try and make a few quid for the winter. But obviously the fans deserve, you know, something in return. I might be the sort of newbie in, but you know, at the end of the day, they pay our wages, and fair's fair. You know, I think everybody's just got to, you know, just try and give it that extra 10% and to win at home. And you know, there's no reason why we can't go to Peterborough in a few weeks and win. You know, that would be quite a good, you know, sort of benchmark. But obviously, Scunny, you know, playoffs, obviously main goal, priority, but obviously it would be mega to win the league and sort of pick who we want to race. But obviously before that, we've got cup semi-final to think about with Redcar home and away. I've just been dealt with the blow of Tofty. Obviously broke his ankle, but I know he's had it plated and screwed, so he's on the road to recovery. But how long he's going to be, nobody knows. I would guess maybe 4 weeks, but maybe 6. I've had mine screwed once, and I was not fit really for 6 weeks at best.
which ankle is it that he broke?
I think he said it was his right one.
Right.
So that's perhaps the best one, because
not the left that has to go down, isn't it?
Yeah, so that might be blessing, but obviously
it's still going to be sore and vibrations and everything.
It's an injury, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you say. When you're coming back from an injury, a lot of it's psychological. So it's going to hurt, but we'll just see what he can do and come up with. But I would like to say, Redcar, we need to make that cup final. That would be phenomenal. That would, especially as captain as well. Be even better. Be like cherry on the cake, win or lose. But I don't know. It's all right. Everybody says it, but I just obviously now we've brought Drew in. I do really fancy us to win something this year. I genuinely do. The buzz in the team, the vibe in the team, the fans, the support, and everything. It's just like everything seems to be going for us, whereas other years a few things have gone against us. And everyone has their own opinion on different people. I don't think a lot of people are big fans of Rob Godfrey, but you talk to him, or I talk to him quite regularly, and he's excited, and you can tell that in his tone of voice and the way he is, and that rubs off on the rest of us, I think. And
of course it does.
at the end of the day, we always have a bit of a laugh, and we sort of make our mission is to bankrupt Rob every match. Score as many as we can. That's what we sort of say. Come on, boys, let's bankrupt Rob tonight. Every point counts. Let's score as many as we can, and just a bit of a laugh in the team. And yeah, it's the vibe there is good, and I think it's destined for some success this year, and that's going to be good to be part of, providing it happens. So
yeah, and if not this year, then always next year, isn't there?
Well, there is, but let's concentrate and put everything into this year and make it happen this year, and then we can try and retain it.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but there's always next year if it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah, exactly. There is, but I got a few more years left in me yet. But obviously, my big thing before I retire, like I've said before, I want to win a league title. I really want to win a league title, and obviously, I was fortunate enough to be picked by Lemo to sort of be part of obviously your Bellevue success at Sheffield last year, and the fans, and even though I was only a guest, the fans have stopped me going into the stadium for pictures, and the barmy armies, you want to call it, whatever, whether they were paid up or not before the meeting even started. It was unreal. It was unreal. It was phenomenal, and everybody made me feel welcome. And obviously, I feel goosebumps for everyone. Just to be in that team. So, if that was, without being rude, if that was my own team as such and being captain of that team, I'll probably be a bit of a wimp and just sit on the track, cry or something. But we'll see.
That Brady didn't, to be truthful.
You what? Sorry.
I'm shocked that Kurtz didn't, to be truthful. He looked shocked, and
yeah, it's just a cool feeling, I guess. But it's hard when you're a guest to try and celebrate with the guys that have got you there all year. A bit of the odd one out, but But
I don't know, your namesake didn't hold back on celebrating, did he?
Nah. Well, it's he'd done all the meetings. I was just there for that one, but
No, he didn't do all of them. He did 2 before it.
I'm in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Make hay while the sun's shining, mate.
Yeah. And he did. Fair play to him.
That's it, mate.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic every time you come to Bellevue, because you can see it in you that you're not just there to make up the numbers. You want to take scalps.
100%, mate. If you go in there to make numbers up, there's no point going. I look at it as I'm missing time off work, and it's a family business, and I sort of run that side of the business, the timber side, which is, there is more to life than Speedway, but at the end of the day, while my Speedway is good, I'll keep milking it while I can. Yeah, but obviously, it's time off work. It's a night away from my little lad and everyone, and do you know what I mean? There's no point going. It's not fair on my mechanic to have time off work and travel the country with me. I go there and I give it me all, and I want to make myself proud, my family proud, my little boy proud, my sponsors proud, because I don't want them to think they're sort of helping sponsor a dead horse as such. You know what I mean? I don't like coming last. I don't like losing. Full stop. I'm a realist. I am a realist. I know what I'm capable of and what I should do and what I shouldn't do. But I always come to Bellevue, and it's a bit of a mind blowing track. It's a fantastic track. But yeah, whether it's for Bellevue, against Bellevue, I always give 110, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So a few weeks ago, I saw your van at Bellevue, and I was like, is he here tonight? Nobody said anything about that. But apparently you loaned it to somebody.
I'd be Hans. Was that
It was.
the Peter Craven meeting?
No.
It
It was literally like a month ago.
Yeah, it'd be Hans. No, Hans had my van. He's took the deal on my rent truck on. I've just bought a new van. You know,
Okay.
he took
It
my
was your
rent
old
truck.
van with all the stickers on.
Yeah, I
was
just
like,
anti-stickered
is
it.
he here? Nobody told me that he's here.
No, not that, no.
I was going to come and harass you.
No, Fryer, you'd have still been looking for me now.
Yeah, probably. Although, no matter how tight that pajama top was the other night, didn't mess the do up.
Mate, he couldn't have got a worse picture in the world, could he? Like, I even looked at him when I was just about to put it on, and I thought he was looking away. He must have turned around and got me a treat. Yeah, he done me now a kipper, but
It reminded me of that scene from Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah, no, it's all good fun, mate. I don't mind a bit of banter, mate. I can give as good as I get.
That's it, though, isn't it? So, what have you got any plans for like a summer break? Is there a summer break for you?
No, never go on holiday during the speedway season. Never have, never will. At the end of the day, like I say, it's this is my sort of busiest time at work now. Like sort of April, the speedway season is the busiest time for work as well. So it is quite hard juggling things sometimes. But no, at the end of the day, I'd kick myself if I was abroad or something like that, and I got a phone call to ride. I'd absolutely kick myself because I've missed an opportunity to ride my bike and earn a few quid, and day out and it.
Yeah, because I know some teams don't have meetings for like a month now, do they?
That's the thing, but obviously, this is what I was saying. Like with Scunny, my fixture list was crap. Really, I'm doing 1 meeting a week. I think the whole of June I had 4 meetings. For this month, I had 5. Every Friday this month, 5 Fridays this month, and it's 5-week month. And that was it. Whereas, like I said in an interview, like Zach Cook, he rode Tuesday Plymouth, Wednesday Poole, Thursday Lynn, Friday Scunny 1 week. Well, he done my monthly quota in a week. That sucks. But that's the difference, doubling up. Whereas now I've sort of suddenly become quite busy. I had Wolves last night. I got nothing there till Friday. And after Friday, effectively, like you go into July, Saturday, I got 11 meetings next month. Well, that's enough. That's good. That's busy. I want to be busy. Like I say, 11 meetings, full-time job, and obviously Hansy stuff to watch as well. So Mondays and Thursdays work good. I try and sort of dedicate Tuesdays in a workshop all day and nights and whatnot. So yeah, no, it's good, and it's kind of topped me up now till the end of August, and hopefully then that'll keep me fit, keep me sharp, and get things refreshed, ready for hopefully playoffs and cup final and that. So yeah, I'm buzzing about it all. Really, I'm just just like I say, it's exciting.
Fair play.
Obviously Sunday, I'm at Peterborough Sunday. I got obviously Ulrich's farewell meeting, so I hope he gets a good sort of turnout for that. He deserves that. He's put a lot of time and effort into British Speedway. He's not been one of these that's like thought, no, he's too good for England. No, he's always done it, and fair play. He's a nice guy on and off track. So I just hope that's packed for him.
Yeah. Did you catch the GP on the weekend at all?
Did I what? Sorry.
Did you catch the GP on the weekend?
Oh yeah, I watched it Saturday night. Yeah, just to manage to stay awake for it.
Yeah. Did you hear what Ty said at the beginning?
No, to be honest with you, like I missed the first hour, and then I just caught it up. I don't really listen to all the interviews now.
Yeah, it was Scotty Nichols was on the track walk with him,
right?
And he basically said that Sweden's getting too difficult to travel to now, so he wants to come back and ride in Britain next year.
that's positive. You know, we need more big names.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think of that?
Well,
Where do you reckon it'll end up?
where will he go? It's no telling, is there? I don't know. Obviously, you'd put Wolves as first sort of port of call, wouldn't you? I would
I
imagine.
think he's still a Wolves asset.
And Pete's his personal manager as well as the Wolves manager.
This is true.
Yeah, you. I think you've got to kind of put him down at Wolves, like first. But I don't know. He might go to. I don't know. When he talks, then we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because he has said in the past that he'd love to ride Bellevue week in, week out.
I think that a lot will depend on maybe Bewley. If Bewley decided to sit England out next year, then like for like.
Yeah.
But you know, who knows? At the end of the day, he's coming back. He's living in England now. It's another big name, and you know, he learnt his trade in England with Scunny, obviously effectively, and you know, it'd be good to see him now. I mean, I don't think Laguta's going to be in England next year. Let's be fair about that. But there's no Emil, Doyley, and all them sort of boys are.
Yeah, it's whatever's happening with Laguta. It's sad.
It's what? Sorry.
I said it's sad whatever's happening with Laguta, and I just hope it doesn't go the way of Pedersen.
No, I don't think it's going to do that. To be fair, I don't think it's going to do that. I'll be honest, but again, you never know, dear.
No, exactly. That's why I said I just hope it doesn't end up going that way as well, because that'd be sad to lose another world-class rider from British Speedway.
I think the problem is obviously Alex Brady bought him in on whatever he was getting, and obviously now Alex has walked away. It's made it a bit difficult for Buster, but he's kind of honouring his word with it all, and but I don't think it's quite put as many bums on seats as they thought it was going to.
Right.
You know, you go to Ipswich. A lot of people have, you know, obviously they're quite lucky. They've got Doyley and Emil, two massive names of the sport, riding in the same club. But you know, nothing against Doyley, but everybody's perhaps gone here, there, everywhere more to perhaps watch Emil, because Doyley's been so good to British Speedway over the years. He's honoured his word and he's been there. A lot of people have seen him. He's just a name to people. Whereas, you know, if you've got the chance to go see Emil in person, you know, for fans, grab a picture and all that. But everybody speaks highly and says, you know, some of the boys in Ipswich have said he's such a good team man, Emil, and whatnot. And him and Doyley, you know, Daniel James picked his form up now. He's learning a lot. Kenyon Rue hasn't had a bad debut season, to be fair, and Doyley took him under his wing. Well, you come to England, it must be quite daunting from Australia, let's be honest. But if you've got Doyley and Emil in the same team, you can't really ask for a better sort of way to go, could you? No, exactly. Yeah. So,
a former world champion, and where's Emil finished in the past? He's been in and around the top three, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
So, he was third in the world last time he rode in the Grand Prix. Was Laguta's Marslick set-footed enough?
Yeah, 21, that would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, there you go then. You know, so you've got former world champion and former number 3 in the world as two people to look up to and learn from.
Exactly.
You know, you can't go wrong with that, can you?
No, not really. If you don't learn a lot this year, you never will.
No. It's just. I've heard lots of good things about Ipswich and the effect that it's having on their things, and then seeing when they've gone to other tracks and it's like the Emil effect and the queues going down the road and whatever.
Exactly. Well, obviously he went Leicester and he broke a track record and maxed out, and went Sheffield and maxed out. Tracks he's never seen, and it speaks volumes, But like I say, he's kind of overtook the limelight a little bit from Doyley, because Doyley's still done the same, but because Emil's been full maxes, whatever. You know what I mean? It's very hard. It's very good. It's a good bit healthy competition for Doyley there as well.
Not only that though, it means Doyley can go about his craft and just crack on. Let Emil have the limelight and just let Doyley do his riding talk.
That's it. Well, Doyley will do that anyway, but it's a good bit of like I say, Doyley will not want to give that number one position up.
Oh God, no.
It's a good bit of, like I say, it's good healthy competition.
Yeah. I'd say hide the bins if it comes to it.
Like, it's like Sheffield, Muesliak, I think he's quite underrated. I think it's phenomenal. Him and Jack Alder obviously sort of playing the 1 and 5 swapping game now, aren't they? So I say it's good when you've got a bit of good healthy competition. So it's similar really at Scunning. Like obviously, where I get paid the same whether I'm reserve or not. But obviously, I like to think I've pushed on from that now. But I know if I have a couple of bad meetings, Connor will probably pass me in the team in the averages, and he'll be up. I don't. I think I'm better than that now. So it's push on and try and establish yourself as such. So it's just like I say, it's a bit of friendly banter, healthy competition. It's good fun.
Yeah, I think Bewley needs to watch his number 1 jacket at Bellevue though.
For Brady.
No, the other young Aussie.
Jamin. Yeah, but he's good at Bellevue and Peterborough. He struggles on some of the other tracks, so. But whereas Bewley's pretty class everywhere, and he's good for sort of A everywhere, and at least.
Yeah. Well, that 1 and 5 at Bellevue's just like is a. It's the same as this.
Brilliant combinations out there, this year, and that's what I say. They're really stronger than it ever has been, or Premiership, whatever you want to call it. But it just makes good. Well, it's good viewings and good reading, really. But obviously, a lot of critics out there about this and about that. But you're going to get that no matter what sport you're in. And
of course, yeah. Doesn't matter if it's snail racing.
No, one snail will be too slow and one will be too fast. Yeah, exactly.
His shell's too big, his is too small. That's got too many spirals on it.
Couldn't agree more, mate. But you'll never please everyone in life, will you?
No. Yeah. Right, well, I think from my end, I'm about done. Don't know about you guys.
I think Eve's dropped off. I don't know where she's gone. She might have had technical issues, but no. But like you say about
muted me.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, Simon, like you say about Scunthorpe, you've always got that strong reserve, and I think that's what my team, Birmingham, have been lacking this season. Because you've come to our place and beaten us three times?
Twice.
I can agree.
Twice. But it's very hard, isn't it? We built the team whereas we had Zane at reserve, and obviously Zane got injured and we had to let Joe go and bring a 2-pointer in, and we signed Cleggy. But now we've been quite lucky to sign Drew, and Drew has hit the ground running when it dropped Connor to reserve. So now we will always have a good strong reserve, whether it be me, Connor or Drew. And I don't think young Nathan gets enough credit really for what he's doing, because he's not scoring the points he wants to score, but he's riding so much better than the points he's getting. But yeah, obviously Birmingham was quite difficult because you signed the highest average rider in the league in Nick Morris, and with all due respect,
yeah, because that turned out so well.
Well, again, we're only human, but you signed the highest average rider in the league, plus Pearson on a 4, who, with all due respect, is a 3. So that's like 40% of your points limit already gone.
Yeah.
So then you've just got to do infills, basically, not kind of who was left, but do you know what I mean? Patel's been a good signing for you this year. Definitely. And obviously now you've strengthened with Batch. I mean, he had a good first meeting. Whether that will continue or not, I don't know. But
We hope
you know,
so.
well, I'm sure you do, but I hope not when we come to you, because obviously we're there at the end of the season, and that could be crucial for us finishing top or not really. So yeah. It's at the end of the day, you can only really like play the hand you dealt, can't you? But again, you know, the critics are the critics. But at the end of the day, Birmingham's still got a speedway track, and there's so many talk about so many tracks folding, and that it's worrying. It's not good. It's scary. But you know, there's talk of Wolves in there. Obviously, Peterborough, potentially Birmingham. Where are the other tracks coming from? You know, I'd like to think Workington will go up next year. That would be good. But who knows? Who knows? There is not enough riders out there for one league.
No, this is true.
They're nowhere near. And even if you ran a 6-man team, there still isn't enough riders out there. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is really.
Fair enough. I think that's all I've got. To be fair, Eve, have you got anything you want to add?
No, not really.
Nick, you got anything else you thought of anything else?
No,
Well,
no, I'm good here. Thank you.
well, if that's the case, we'll wrap up. Cheers, Simon, for joining us again. We appreciate you coming back on for another episode.
No worries, anytime.
And,
Nice to meet you.
And you?
Officially.
I can't actually see you, but you know.
My camera's... No, it's sort of just blocked off.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened with it.
I thought we sent you to sleep.
No, that's Ruth's job.
You can tell she's my younger sister, can't you? But yeah. Thanks for joining us, and if you want, we'll have you on again after the season, and maybe might have something to celebrate at the end of the season.
Towards the end of the season,
probably have to do it in December then, because it'll take me all of November to get over it. I think.
Fair enough.
All right, Jack.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Go on then.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the champions in the Premiership this year? I know who Nick's going to say.
I reckon it's going to go Bellevue Sheffield again like last season.
I was going to say, who's going to make the playoff?
I think Ipswich Bellevue this year.
Yeah, I think if Ipswich can sort Eric Riss out. Now Danny King's got a bit of form. Emil and Doyley are the dark horses. But I also think Wolverhampton are very dark horses. Very, very dark horses.
Oh, yeah, because they're very good at home, aren't they? And that'll be the key, especially if they've got a first leg if they at home, if they can get a good first lead. And then
they're good at home. Dougie's probably better away from home than he is at Wolves. Shivani's been there and done it. Masters is good everywhere. Young Zach Cook, he's been everywhere once or twice now. And he's improving every week. So,
I think that's your four for the playoff then. Bellevue, Wolves, Sheffield, Ipswich.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to call it, because Leicester are going good.
Forget about Leicester.
Sedge's their trump card.
Yeah.
Sedge's their trump card. Sedge's flying at the minute.
Don't want to jinx it, but if Max Frick gets injured again, I think they'll struggle.
Yeah, let's not jinx things like that.
I wouldn't really want to. I wouldn't want to call I couldn't even call the top four, to be honest.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I put my top four forward.
Well, Bellevue are sitting good at the top. I'll give you that. They are doing good. Yeah.
We've got a 7-point lead, but we've rode 4 or 5 matches more than everyone else at the minute, so that could change overnight.
Yeah, but it's coming to that time of the season now, isn't it, where somebody, if they're going to make changes, it's going to happen before the cut-off date and this and that. And I don't care where you are in the league, there's always 1 or 2 changes that are a bit like, wow, you know. Obviously, Sheffield have just done the league out Pickering in. And he was phenomenal at Sheffield, but absolutely useless away. Whereas Pico, if when he gets back race fit and back full strength, 100%, he'll be very good at Sheffield, and he'll also be very good away. So that will make them stronger. And they've obviously got a very strong reserve in Howarth or Kerr, or even Pico for that matter. So I just wondered what everyone's thoughts were on that. So what about Championship? Who's going to win the Premier League? Or who's in the final?
I don't
I reckon
know.
the final.
Well, it's not
Final will
going
be.
to be. All right, let's eliminate it then. It's not going to be
I'd probably-
Birmingham, is it?
I think the final's going to be Poole and Scunthorpe. I couldn't say who's going to win it.
Yeah.
I'd love to say Scunny for obvious reasons, but Poole are a very good team, aren't they?
They are, but
I have
yeah.
lost. Oh, I lost the internet. Apologies for that.
Oxford are going well at the minute. We've got Oxford at home Friday night. That will be our biggest test so far this season, I think.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I didn't think at the start of the year they had much of a team. I'll be honest. I thought they were going to be towards the bottom, but Scotty's having the best year of his career, I think, compared to last year. Masters is good. Louis Kerr's a good gator and good for 8 everywhere. Jordan Jenkins has improved, and their trump card at the minute is Henry Atkins. He's come on leaps and bounds this year. So what was a written off team for me, in my opinion, being honest, is now quite a strong team. So I don't know. I don't think Edinburgh make the playoffs. I don't think Birmingham make the playoffs. I don't think Berwick make the playoffs. So it's who gets who, really. But obviously, I'm not just saying this, but I fancy us against anyone over 2 legs. But Hull, Redcar, will Glasgow crease under pressure?
They always seem to, don't they?
It's I don't know. It's going to be an exciting end of the season. This is why, like, you see all these critics, social media, forums, all behind little names. Put your own name or shut up, really, but say it as it is.
Yeah.
But we've got to be positive about the sport. Everybody keeps putting the sport down. We've got to be positive about the sport. Let the guys at the top do what they've got to do, and let's be positive and enjoy it. I think the biggest plus for me in British Speedway now is the BSN, 100%.
I was just going to say, here's one for you. What's your views on Phil Morris taking over as CEO of the sport in Britain?
Being honest, I don't even really know what his role is or what he actually does to make it better. Just being honest, like this new 1 minute rule. Yeah, you don't need to faff around and all that. If you've got a problem, a minute's long enough. Obviously, somewhere like Wolves, it is hard because the pits are a long way to the track. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, an example, and I've always said this, I've never forgot this. I went to Vegas once, and I went and watched an ice hockey game. And I'm not into ice hockey in the slightest, but the lads who I went with all were. So I paid my money. We went and watched. They're sweeping the ice during the period 1, 2, or 3 every sort of 5 minutes. But even when they're doing that, there's somebody going around the crowd doing something with someone, and there's this and there's that, and there's dancers, there's singers, there's bloody DJs. There's the entertainment value on a whole was phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? So you get a speedway, and it starts at 7:30, you get there at 7. I think it's good that most tracks let the fans in the pits, and I don't understand why more fans don't come in the pits. Like I say, if anybody ever wants a picture with me or sit on my bike, a young kid, it doesn't cost me anything. Just crack on, mate. If it puts a smile on your little boy or little girl's face, crack on. You know what I mean? Or whether they're older people, mums and dads, grandmas and granddads, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you don't want to see all the tractor racing. This probably sounds a bit critical, but I watch all the updates. Sheffield the other week we've done 15 races and Kingston was starting at 11. Well, tractor racing, you don't want to be seeing that. If they're going to do the tractor racing, they need to be doing something in the middle, or they need to be. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I get you've got to run it as a business, and the more tractor racing the clubs have, the more burgers they sell, the more drinks they sell. I get that from a business point of view, but I mean, the other week at Scunny, we were done in an hour and 5 minutes. I said to Rob, "Well, what are we doing now then? It's only 20 to 9. You know what I mean? Meetings don't normally finish till 9:30,
Yeah.
9:15. What are we doing now then? We're going out for tea, or do you know what I mean? Just had a bit of a joke about it, but you've got to get your money's worth. I mean, I think at Scunny you do, where you racing it is, you know, one of the best tracks in the country by a long way. As much as we all like Bellevue, it is a bit big. It can be a bit gate and go, but yes, you get your few exemplary, extraordinary, superb races. But at Scunny, if you blink, you miss something. Really, so many racing lines and that. But yeah, just entertainment value. You know, obviously, it's not cheap. It's not a cheap sport now to go watch. I appreciate that. But at the same time, you know, that's why we have to try and, as riders, I think everybody has to try and give the fans a bit more for their money.
Mm-hmm.
Speedway, really, let's be realistic. In my head, it's a 10-12 quid sport. As a businessman, I'd rather have 5,000 people at 10 quid than have 1,000 people at 20 quid.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You know, however, who's got the balls basically to try that for a full season? Do you know what I'm saying? Right, as riders, of course, we all want more because our expenses are more. You know, diesel was dropping, now it's on the way up again. Parts are more expensive. Things are coming in. Brexit and all that's kind of killed that. Where you could buy parts abroad cheaper, you can't now. You know, Bellum, Joe's, all them, they've all got to make a living as well. But at the same time, like I say, everyone's got worth. We can't ride for nothing. But it is very technical and very political. But you know, if you need a millionaire basically, don't you, to buy a speedway club and do right 10 quid, build a place every week, week in, week out. I mean, as a rider, when you're there and you can see a big crowd and you can hear the fans with the air on, the screaming, the shouting, the clapping, there's no, you know, mate, I'm getting paid to witness this as such and to put a show on for these guys, and it's a phenomenal experience and something it'll live with me to the day I die. And some people enjoy it, some don't. But I mean, look at the crowds in Poland and that. Imagine having a crowd like that in England. It'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it?
Real, yeah.
You know, I don't like going to watch Speedway, but I went to the World Cup when England won it that year at Bellevue. Stopped over for the weekend. Absolutely amazing weekend. Lost my voice screaming. But
I remember me and my dad bumped into you in Manchester City Centre, but I didn't think we knew each other at the time.
I was probably pissed, to be honest. I don't really drink, but I had a few beers that day. Yeah, I do remember the meeting, but I'd had a few. Yeah.
It was a good
I was
day.
sadly at home watching it on my laptop whilst listening to it out my back door.
Well, you know, it's just memories, isn't it? But you know, it's, you know, everybody goes and watches things like that, but why can't they go watch, you know, normal? Cost of living and everything's gone up. Like I say, I get where it is, but for a family to go watch Speedway now, you have. This is why I say, like, the fans that do go, you have to really appreciate and respect, because it's not cheap. You know, it's not cheap. So if they're coming, like I say, if somebody wants a picture or to sit on your bike or to do this or to do that, it's no big deal, is it? It really isn't. So yeah, I just wish, I don't know, I just wish it was not run better, but a bit more, you know, publicity and all that. And the Eurosport, obviously, like I say, with the BSN, Eurosport only run select matches, don't they? Whereas the BSN, I think it's great. I mean, what is there, 3 meetings in the next week? They've got Leicester Thursday, they're at Glasgow Friday, and then Poole next Wednesday. You know, for me, for my sponsors, I look at it from, you know, I try to look at it from a sponsorship point of view as well. You know, a few of my sponsors, they would love to go to Scunny every week, but they can't because of work commitments. But to pay 12 quid if they don't buy the season pass, which works out like £3.50 a meeting, which is absolutely nothing. They can sit at home and watch it. Although, like, Rob's not perhaps getting, say, is what, 40 quid for two of them, say. If they buy the stream, 12 quid, they buy every Scunthorpe stream and even away matches, but they can see what's going on, and these updates don't always read anywhere near what actually happens in races. It bewilders me. I think some people who do the updates, they're not actually at the meeting, but hey, but I think that, the BSN, they've gone all out for it, and I'm all for that.
BSN are putting into the clubs as well, aren't they? Because
I don't know that, mate. I don't know how it all works.
That's what they've always said, that like, say you pay a tenner for your ticket, they'll keep like 8 quid of it, say, and 2 quid of it goes to the teams that are riding.
Obviously, if it's on the telly and it's a cold sort of wettish night, say September, October, do you really want to go stand out there and get cold? No. You can sit in your own house. If you smoke, you can have a fag, you can have a takeaway, you can have a beer or a crate of beer, whatever you want to do, But it still keeps the word out there, I'm well for it. I think what Jatender and his team have done, and the commentators, and they've got people that they know what's what. And I think they use Royno a bit and a few riders, and I know they've used Kingy, Jake Allen, I think, Charles Wright. It's riders, and I'm not being rude. If when they do the tweets and that, they ask the questions, the rider can answer them. Whereas sometimes on the other things, like the Discovery in Eurosport, obviously Scotty's brilliant, but Scotty can't answer every question. Whereas they just chat a bit utter rubbish. So yeah, the BSN's the way forward. But obviously, there's nothing better than live sport. But I think that's the big plus as well this year for England, for sure.
I reckon that'll take over full time when the Eurosport contract ends, to be fair.
Why not? They're good enough. Obviously, they're not big enough at the minute, but they're good enough. And
I hope it does, because they can be at all meetings rather than one Premiership meeting a month or whatever it is. You could have one a week, 2 a week if there's a Thursday night going on, as well as your Championship, as well as your development league.
I mean, when we raced against Birmingham the other week at Scunny, obviously we hammered them. Like, not being funny, we hammered them, and it was a terrible crowd. Rob must have lost a lot of money, admittedly, but I'm pretty certain he told me there was 100 and some odd streamers at 12 quid. Well, kind of helps you with your gate money a little bit, and I think 50 or 60 of them were from Australia. Well, obviously we've got Dougie, we've got Jake, his family, sponsors, relations, etc., friends. Well, that's great. They're in another country, the other side of the world, but they're still watching the mate or the son or whatever race, and it's brilliant. So I'm all for it. So all good. Right, I'm not being rude. I'm going to have to go because I'm on no battery.
It's all right. Thanks for coming on and joining us. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. I'm all for things like this. So anytime.
Cheers. Thank you.
No worries. I'll see you at Bellevue soon.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
You've just finished listening to another episode of the Trot the Clutch podcast. Thanks for listening. We appreciate the support. Have a good week, and we'll catch you on the next one.